So let's talk about logical database or logical data modeling, and we are continuing the same problem as inventory management system for sale and purchase. If you remember from the last discussion, we created the conceptual data model in chain notation. This is the ERD, and now we are going to transform it into logical data modeling. So in what we have to do with this one, we need to perform these 4 steps: identify the attributes for each entity, and the most important thing, that if there exists any many-to-many relationship, we have to split that into two one-to-many relationship, and that could be done with introducing an associative entity. And for each associative entity in implementation, we will be using junk table. And the next important thing at step 3 is to identify the primary key and foreign key attribute and establish the relationship between these keys attributes to get the enhanced ERD. So what could be that enhanced ERD or logical data model for our database? So let's go back to the draw.io where we have drawn it. So this was we created the conceptual previously. Now the next step is to identify the attribute. So attribute means the characteristic of each entity. So customer will be identified by customer ID, customer name, order by order date, order ID, and similarly product by product ID, product name, and supplier ID. So these are the attributes. For example, if I want to add this employee with attributes, so how I can get an attribute, we have different types of attributes. So I am taking this one and will be employee underscore name. This is the attribute, and similarly for this one supplier, I can take this attribute and supplier underscore name. And how I can add the primary key and foreign key to these entities here. I added to customer as the customer ID is the primary key, to the order is order ID is the primary key, and to the product is product ID is the primary key. And let's see to how we can add the primary key to this employee entity. So let me take one attribute, duplicate this line, and for example I'm bringing it over here, and now I'm going to add the primary key. So foreign key is represented by the attribute with the underline. So I added this one, and now I will be adding it here as its employee and employee ID. So this underline shows us that this is the primary key. How I can add the identify that where I will be adding the foreign key to all these entities, which entity will contain the foreign key. We already talked about foreign key and how I can add it. So the simple rule is that to see where there is the many relationship at that entity, you will have to add the foreign key. So I will be adding foreign key of this order, because order has one cardinality and employee has many. So I will be adding at this employee side the foreign key, which will be the primary key of this order, customer order ID. So how I can do it? Let's again duplicate this line, and then how I can add the foreign key. So foreign key is represented by the dotted line below it, and it will be the primary key of the participating entity on the one side. So participating entity between this relationship, process relationship, is order, and order has its primary key is order ID. So I will be putting order ID is the foreign key over here. And similarly we can add the primary key to the supplier over here. So let's add the primary key here, and as I told you, the primary key is represented by this underline oval shaped structure. So supplier ID, this is the primary key, and this supplier ID will be placed as a foreign key in here. So you can see I have added, because here it's one and here it's many. So on many side we will be adding the foreign key. So the first two steps that are identify all the attributes. So all the attributes are identified. I have for quick processing and understanding, I added only one or two attributes. You have to add all the attributes. And then in the second step, I identified the primary key and the foreign key for each entity. And the third, the most important step is that if there is many-to-many relationship between your conceptual data model, then we cannot implement that directly in relational database management system. So we have to split that. So here we can see one-to-many, 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 but here it's many-to-many. So we have to split this relationship into another entity which is called associative entity. How we could do it? We will be adding one extra entity in between these two, and we will be the best practice is to name it as order product, order underscore product, because this is in between this order and this is product, and this is many to many. We cannot implement it, so we have to introduce we have to convert this relationship into this entity. This entity is called associative entity, and we have to link this here and this one over here. Okay, and we have to delete this one. Now, how we could represent the cardinalities? So this many side will be converted to 1, and this many side will also be converted to 1, and what we will be doing is that the many relationship will come to this associative entity side, right? This is most important and the main step in the logical data modeling. So this is now one to many, one to many. So we can implement it. And what will be the attribute in primary key and foreign key of this associative entity? So keep in mind that the primary key of this order table entity and primary key of this product entity will be the combined primary key of this order product entity. So how we could do it? We will be bringing this foreign key, this one, and this one. They will be added as the primary key of this yes. So this is how this order product associative entity will take this order ID and product ID combine together, and this is called this is called the primary key, composite key of this, and it may carry its other attribute order product. For example, you can say that how many quantity of this this order contain the quantity, what is the quantity of the product that have been ordered. So you can add other attributes if they carry. So let's connect it and write down quantity. Okay, so this is now the complete ERD logical data model or enhanced ERD that we can use it in the next stage for our physical database design. Copy it from here and we can take and paste it over here, and we can make it adjusted to the size that we need it here. Okay, so now you can see that this is our final logical data model, and this is in chain notation. For cross port notation and UML notation, we